We're going to continue to talk about neutrality, this new state that we are currently witnessing and experiencing in this present moment, and how it shows up. One thing that I'm noticing about that is like, I don't know, because it feels like that's what happens throughout our human consciousness evolution. Like every now and then we get a change in our life that requires us to adapt, in new ways of seeing, in new ways of approaching life, in new ways of doing things, in new ways of living. Do you understand? But like, I'm really in a position where I have so much clarity of understanding. That's basically, excuse me, what is happening now. Like, I'm actually embodying new ways. Like, neutrality is a new way of being in my life experience. It's like, as much as I have a memory of neutrality and of how it's like to live in this state, I've lived before. So it's not like I've never been there, but it is a new way in this lifetime. Okay, maybe in the past, in my past I had experienced it, but I've forgotten. Do you understand? So in this lifetime I'm living now, in this new chapter, it is new, and I am actually learning how to embody, and I'm also understanding the in-depth information that comes with how, as human beings, we embody knowledge and information as if we are downloading softwares, as if we are computers, which computers mimic us, our system, how we are wired. So, and I'm actually having that clarity, like, okay, now it turns, you are placed in this new path. You are in this position where you are now currently witnessing and also experiencing what is it like to be in the state of neutrality, to function in this energy frequency of neutrality, how the lens of neutrality function, the ways in which it approaches life circumstances. And it is very interesting because I am like also understanding where I come from, the last state of mind, the lens I was using, the beliefs I was using that rendered me where I was before, seeing things in the way I saw things. And that is not neutrality, and I'm very much aware of it. That is not that there's right or wrong or there's good or bad, because one thing that I'm understanding about human consciousness evolution, there is no right or wrong. Yes, at some level of seeing, you will definitely feel that way, because that's all that dimension can only give as a sensation, that there is right or wrong, and that is normal and natural. Okay, but then as you grow into your personal growth and learning, you will come to realize, oh, okay, actually, I was only seeing things that way because that's all I could see at the time. My lens, or my mind, or my mind development could only afford that kind of understanding and way of seeing. Hence, I felt, that, there's good and bad. Do you understand? And then you get to the state where, no, actually, there's no such thing. You understand? And I guess this is where now you are being initiated to neutrality, to operate and function and live and be in this energy frequency of oneness, of harmony, of flow, of being in tune to and synchronized with life as a whole, where you embody the whole life force energy. The life key energy is like now solidified within your essence of being. Do you understand? It feels like, can I put it out? It feels like that sense of, because it feels like in life you are going through different levels, and in lenses of seeing, and then there's this lens that actually all of a sudden kind of like put things together, solidifies and alchemizes all energies, connects everything, and brings you into the state of feeling grounded and connected to all and then this is the position where now you you have the ability to oversee things as they are. And I feel like neutrality does that. It's this energy that binds everything together and that also at the same time gives you the ability to see things as they are. And out of seeing things as they are, then you're rendered to the state where you are one with life as a whole. Do you understand? Like everything is working together, like literally. Yesterday I made a video where I was actually doing yoga and then there was this dog and I happened to do yoga where it normally would pass us and it was just freaked out to see my presence and I just in that moment it felt like an enlightenment to me because I realized, oh gosh, this is what happened to us human consciousness. Like, I wasn't aware that okay, your body gets triggered by this. Like I've been talking about that, but then like to apply it, that's one thing. Do you understand? It's one thing to know it intellectually, but to apply it on your everyday and see it alive and being lived through you. I felt like this energy, this new lens now was being initiated more like to the ego, to the person, like to realize, to awaken to the reality, like that's normal, that triggering is normal and natural, but it doesn't have to determine, it doesn't have to push you. You still have options, you still have a free will. You can actually choose these edges and sensation that you're feeling, these narrative stories that are coming. Yes, they are taking place based on the mindset that is underlying on a subconscious, but still you have a free will. You can actually choose how to approach this. And there I was given a new way that says, yeah, oh, there's a dog barking. Here I was, my body was, bit triggered, and it felt like, I needed to go on that fight or flight mode, sensation, and I was aware of it, and I was aware. It felt like I was watching a movie of myself, like I was aware of this, and it didn't trigger that sense of, okay, now you have to respond and react, you have to do something. Instead, there was like sense of nothingness, of okay, to be in that state, like, let go and let be. I was reminded, this is what happens, especially in the state when you meditate. We are being encouraged to stay within the present moment, to see things, to feel what we are feeling in our body, to see, like, sense emotions, feelings, everything, yet to let go and let be. And it felt like now I was taking that state that we actually receive within meditation state of mind and now using it in my outer world, in my everyday moment by moment. And that state comes with neutrality. And usually, there was a time of, when I was initiated to this nothingness, nobody, neutrality and stuff. I questioned a lot because I was like, how does, an ego survive in the state of neutrality? Because in the ego, we are wired to jump and to react, to respond, to be active, to do things, to, we want to, physically do things so that we can see result. And I could not actually fathom that. I could not understand how it was going to how it's going to outplay, how it's going to come out together and everything will be fine. And it feels like, now I understand that, I'm in the opposite, place of saying where I understand it's possible. You can actually live in a state of neutrality and still okay. Do you understand? It's an energy frequency. Most of us, I feel like in my case, I wasn't aware actually when I was doing things and reacting, and not that there is something wrong with it, but I wasn't aware that I was choosing a certain energy vibration, and that energy, it created my own life. I wasn't aware of that. Do you understand? So I thought it's just this one way. This is the only way. This is how things are made. This is how things are supposed to. You're supposed to react. You're supposed to respond. You're supposed to say. You're supposed to, there's this suppose. And then neutrality has its own unique way, and it comes with different ways of being and of seeing and approaching life. Instead, it requires the opposite. It requires that you let go and let be, and you just simply be. And out of that nothingness and being nobody and not reactive and non-reactive, something is born out of it. Something that, so I in the past looked at neutrality as something that is like powerless, that it won't protect me, that it won't provide for me, that it won't actually make me feel content. I was going to be a loser if I'm going to follow this kind of nothingness and nobody, and just neutrality and just being receptive to life, and feel, I felt like this is the worst thing ever. how, how I'm going to survive. How am I going to survive in this world if I'm just gonna let things be? And but then I was shown that it's not about going around and just letting throwing things, but it's more than it's about having that ability to listen before you act, like to listen, somehow. I don't know how can I put it. There's no right or wrong way, but neutrality invites us to listen, to come here and to be present, whereas the ego, it's more inviting us to to act on an impulsive manner, and also from a autopilot state, that what has been wired. Do you understand? What we've already been feeding, that's what actually dominates our lives. Whereas in neutrality, it's like, okay, you actually coming into the state of the unknown, where there is no preferences, where there is no biasness, where there's no liking, where it's not about the outcome, what you're going to benefit, where your ego dies, because to be in a state of neutrality, your ego has to die. Do you understand? The urge to respond to things out of like feeling like something has been done to you, so therefore you need to stand up, you need to protect yourself. That urge has to literally dissolve. It has to die within, like you just have to see it, and you seeing it for it, it's, oh, now I'm triggered and I feel this urge and I'm aware. Like that awareness is the one that actually dissolve ego. Do you understand? So with neutrality, hence neutrality, there's no ego in neutrality. There is just this awareness of the ego at play as it is. Hence I'm bringing out this scenario of what happened yesterday outside doing yoga and then the dog actually comes in. That is an example, perfect example of how our ego respond to everyday life circumstances. We want to react, we want to respond, we feel urges, we want, we feel the sensation, and that it pushes us, it actually pulls us to that direction, whereas neutrality pulls us here into the state of oneness, into the state of being, in the state of awareness, in the state of seeing, in the state of clarity, in the state of sound mind, state of connectivity, where we are one, in tune to everything. We see our own ego now. We see it for what it is. We see its own ways and how, it actually expresses itself. Do you understand? We witness it. We are right here. We are with ourselves. This is where now you are actually with the person. You are actually helping the person, which is you. Do you understand your ego? You are walking with your ego. You are supporting yourself. You are... Because one thing that I've learned about my suffering in the past, and stresses and stuff, right, is that the thing that was not there, like one thing that I actually find was that actually made suffering worse and having difficult time, is because there was no one in here. There was no one who was witnessing, who was overseeing things. There was no manager. There was no one who's present to see things as they are. So there was all this chaos and reactor, and do you understand? There was no connection. There was no flow. It was different. Like with having that sense of self-awareness and being aware and feeling being present here and having the ability to see now my ways, through my ego, to see my patterns, my old beliefs, how they will influence and how they would overwhelm and how they will dominate my nervous system. To see all that outplaying, me witnessing everything like that, it gives me a different it gives me like some kind of like, I don't know, something in me is born, like an inspiration to do things differently, to manifest something differently. And this is where this neutrality actually has come by, because out of that state of being able to see my own patterns in my ego has actually now elevated me to the state where now I'm actually experiencing what is it like to be in a state that is not dominated by ego, a state of neutrality, a state of openness. What makes it neutrality is because you are not coming from a state of an ego, which by default is designed by conditions, biasness, preferences, what I want, what I prefer, how I want things to be, how it's supposed to be, all that stuff. That's the ego state, which is, normal and natural in a human consciousness evolution. That's the part that we all go through. Having ego is normal. So, okay. And so, neutrality then comes as a result of having seen the ego, of having been with the ego, of having felt what it's like, experienced the whole process, all the levels and forms and shapes that comes with that software that is downloaded with the ego. Again, having been there, having done the whole thing that ego makes a human being to do. Do you understand? And as a result of becoming aware of the ego and seeing it as it for it is, then you elevate to the state of neutrality. Because after that state of seeing, which brings self-awareness, it renders you in a place where you alchemize these two energies that tends to pull and push, associate and disassociate, want and not want, like or dislike. Those energies need to be seen, and it is through seeing these energies, these opposite energies, polarities of duality that comes with the ego state of seeing, that we actually come to the state of oneness. Do you understand? Oneness, which comes with the energy of neutrality. Now it's where the flow comes in. Now we're in tune with life. We're in tune because we're in tune also with the vibration that comes with the ego. Okay, we embody them as well. We did not disconnect it or throw them away or suppress them. Instead, through the state of witnessing and holding space and acknowledging and accepting things as that, we have been elevated to the state of oneness. And that actually it put us in this position of neutrality and openness and receptive to life as it is. And then the thing that now I want to talk about is about the energy frequency of neutrality, which is very unique, and it is very unique. And as I said earlier on, I am not new into this state. It feels new. It's like a new version in this lifetime, but I've once lived in this state of neutrality, and I have many memories. And now that I am living and I've actually reached it, all the memories that resonate these energy frequencies of neutrality have been brought back now, like for example, yesterday I mentioned about the scenario, the experience I had as a child, me walking to school in winter, in the rain, in cold, with bare feet, and and coming at school late, and then the principal, who was 4 times taller than me, big and really heavy, and she was punishing us, and me holding space for that. Like, that was synchronicity. That was, how can I put, that was like a sense of unity. There's energy sometimes as people who have not awakened to these things, we tend to see things on the surface. Okay, oh, me, for many years, I've always only looked at that scenario as like, poor me, or how bad is this? I was in that judgmental, that divided mind that duality gives to us. Do you understand? So I was seeing things through the duality. But then now that I have actually entered to this gate of neutrality, guess what? I'm actually seeing the same thing differently. I'm like I saw that, I was like, there was no feeling of me or poor me, or there was like this energy that carries me through the same experience, the same scenario and the same memory that in the past would actually send me to that difficult state of discomfort and feeling like, oh, poor me, and or judging the principal. Now I'm like, there is no such thing. I don't feel those. I do not resonate with them. My energy is not even calling for that. Instead, I'm feeling here now, having a sense of clear mind, seeing it as if it was like a picture in the book, and a picture in a book that does not cause out any emotions out of it. It's like a clear mind that sees it, and it's just what it is. It is exactly what it is. There is no judgment, there's no sense of critic, there's no urge of wanting to do something. It's like, okay, that's what Tandy has experienced as a child. Do you understand? And it's pure like that. It's pure. And for me, that is a new energy vibrance or frequency that neutrality comes with. It unifies. It holds you into that state of unity and harmony and oneness, and where you're having a solidified energy from here, and you like, there is no anxiety, there is no nervousness, there is no overthinking, there is no stories. Your mind is clear, your heart is not moved, there is nothing, like literally nothing. And this for me is a sign to show the manifestation of this state of mind of neutrality and how it shows up, and the energy frequency that it comes with. Now it's in my body, because that what I'm feeling, that sense of solidified and unified and one and in harmony, is a vibration. It's a vibration, and it's a vibration that comes with neutrality. Whereas in the past, the vibration would be mixed emotion, would be a lot of narrative stories, would be a lot of overthinking, would be a lot of disturbed diseaseness in my nervous system. Like my body would be triggered in many ways, edges and all that stuff. That is part and parcel of a mindset of an ego that comes with that state of duality, that comes with an ego. You are meant and designed by nature. It's a software. You are meant to respond like that to life, to understand, and that is normal and natural. But when you elevate and you download a new software, which is called neutrality, now you're going to experience life differently. Even the same situation that you used to face and see them in differently, now you're going to experience it in a different energy frequency. You're going to see them differently. You're going to feel, you're not going to think the same. You're going to be different. Let's just say you're just going to do different things. You're going to have a different approach. Do you understand? So that's what I actually understood about the energy of neutrality that I'm currently witnessing, I'm currently experiencing in this world. And that's my journey. That's my journey.